Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, which can be salty, can be bitter, can be, in my case, filled with mucus. But at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Hello.
Hi. So, you guys, right now we are discussing a brand new season of Life After Lockup, Season 4, Episode 41, Habitual Offender. Hooray. All right, you guys. So, we're getting a lot of fresh blood in. We had some Puppy and Amber. We had some Sean and Sarah, which, if it's Sean, it's not fresh. It's just disgusting and looks like Beavis or Butthead, whichever one it is. And then we had some oldies but goodies, which is like Justine and Mike, where they were doing community service apparently and just had to wear orange jumpsuits so that no one either ran them over or shot them. So we'll get into that, all of that. But let's jump right into this. Chris is feeling a little ill, so you're going to hear me so much more. Oh, aren't you so excited? And if you guys were listening to us or watching us on Patreon, you would see me struggling to get the pillow in back of me, but also you get to see the visuals of what you're listening to right now. So let's jump right into our first couple. And let's start with Justine and Michael because they want to be shown first. So we start out this episode with them in the car, the whole family, including Mima. Sassy Mama is in the car, and they're going to a jujitsu space to learn self-defense because Michael is scared that Santana is going to get beat up. I don't know. Apparently, folks are not being nice to Santana at school, and Mike wants to give him some confidence by taking him to some self-defense slash like fighting classes. And so the whole family just gathers in the car to get there, and we start to see something is wrong with Justine. It's like she's not feeling it. She doesn't want to do it. And at some point, Mike starts to talk, and her mother goes, "Oh, you're talking to me?" And Justine goes, "No, Mom, I'm Babe." And we're like, "Whoa, where did that come from, Justine?"
We knew she wasn't feeling well when she decided not to dress them alike. He was wearing a red sweatsuit set, and she's wearing a pink kind of like furry set. I mean, right away, big signs. Things were not, you know, the status quo. Um, They are going to that jujitsu. Yes, the mom, by the way, is definitely rocking an LV strap, honey. I don't know if she has a croissant bag or whatever, but she's rocking that LV strap. I don't know what it's connected to, honey. Coach, we'll see. Dooney and Burke, maybe. So, we meet the jujitsu coach. His name is John. He's wearing a blue suit. Now, I never went and did the thing. Like Angela Bassett did the thing. Ha ha ha, if you know what I mean. Little pop culture humor. But when it comes to self-defense class, I don't even know like what a blue thing means, honey. I know black belt means good. So I don't know like if John how long John's been doing it, but basically he's teaching them how to punch. And them kids are learning how to punch. Mike's taking it too, and Mike has been doling advice about kind of like learning how to fight and how you have to like stand up for yourself once, because if not, people will just take advantage of you. And sometimes it only takes once to show that, like, if necessary, you'll get something done. Right, Wa?
Yeah, like that one time Mike got stabbed in the penis.
I
That's a story we all needed that.
in front of the kids, he's in Justine's like, just fatherly figure.
Yeah. Listen, not to say that that encompasses and makes him like a bad dad. It was just like the wrong time, the wrong audience, truthfully. It was great for us, though. It was great for us on TV. Like, who
Yeah.
wants to think about him being stabbed in the penis? Not me.
Oh,
And it still works. Good for him, you know?
yeah.
Also, here's what I've noticed is that Justine will wear black eyeliner and no concealer. She perpetually looks tired. And I just think that if she just got a little bit of orange and a little bit of a concealer, maybe like some shape tape, but not a lot of it. And she used a brush to like dab it on to blend it in so that it gave her just an awake look or a not bags under the eye, dark circles, I haven't slept because I got 3 kids look. I think that we would all be happier personally. And I was never more aware of it when she's sitting on the sidelines talking to her mom and she tells her mom how, all of a sudden now that she, has had this man in her home, she's now worried and doesn't trust him around her kids because every other man she's ever chosen in her entire life has let her down. And we're like, Yeah, wish you had gotten this angst prior to the marriage, but I'm glad now that you're feeling your feelings. And that's what's important, Justine, is growth.
You know, as she's saying this, and we're supposed to then look over at Michael, like, with her sons and be like, "Oh, good, but this could be different." The thing that I kept thinking of is, well, right now he has a bunch of kids he's definitely not with. Right now, there's a bunch of people that definitely want their daddy around and haven't seen him in a very long time, and he's not there. Not with his kids. So I kinda am like, listen, I want Justine's sons to, like, have a stable male figure in your life, but I'm not gonna just sit here and watch him do a jujitsu class with Justine's sons and not be like, "Yeah, he has a whole ass family and has kids that are when they watch this scene, like, I wonder what they're gonna think."
I would like to believe that he is doing something on the outside to be there for his kids. If it's not daily hour FaceTimes, or maybe he's doing that thing that Sean did where he's like playing with them on the internet video games or something.
We can definitely talk about that, where he gets Father of the Year award now because why? He got himself a PS2, and I can't stay. I mean, that's a whole other thing. That's not spending quality time with your kids. That's just that you found something you like to do that you get to what, like, talk to someone at the same time. That's just I can't. Okay, that doesn't count. And but whatever, that's neither here nor there.
I love that Chris said a PS2, you guys. We know that it's a PS5. She's like, I'm like, I have an iPhone 3, if you were wondering.
Listen, if he wants to get himself a Sega Genesis
and
play,
Sega.
he wants to
Sega.
get a Sega Genesis, honey, just like I did, and play Sonic the Hedgehog all the time. And you, like, get his friend to jump above his head, and then, like, they can become a little helicopter, and the friend, like, brings him around, and then there's this one casino level that was really fun. Like, if that's what he's playing, I don't blame him, but it's not quality time with them children. So, Justine doesn't want to tell her mom that, like, Michael's mom was like, "You should take a maternity test because you're a whole ass hoe." And also, I set you up with my son. Which I get, not wanting to say that. But then later on, after they decided not to wear matching outfits to the jiu-jitsu, then they have a conversation, right? And the conversation is like Justine being like, "Oh, Michael, like, this is the way I feel," and like, and he's like, "Oh, you never opened up about this," and he's just like, "I'm gonna be there for you and your family," and she's like, "Thanks, Michael," and the whole time I'm just like, also, like, your family, like, well, I love you and I like Justine and Michael too, but, like, I don't want to just assume they have not shown this man. He needs to be in Rhode Island way more than we've been seeing him in Rhode Island. Also, why did they decide to wear matching, like, construction worker and or, God bless, like, orange jumpsuits? Like, honey, they're doing their community service on the side of the road. Not community service, but, like, trash maintenance. What is this? What? I mean, this is insanely bad.
Yeah, but it has made great fodder for us and those of us in the podcasting world to be able to talk about these crazy ass outfits. And this is where she really boo-hoo. She boo the who house down. Okay. And she, like, is like, and he's like, "Oh, babe, well, I'm here and you don't have to worry about any of that." She's like, "Mike, I understand what you're saying, but I just have made such terrible decisions, and now my kids, all of their lives have not had any man in their lives, not even their own fathers. Like, isn't it terrible?" And I'm just like, wow, like, that has got, I mean, all the best to any woman out there who has a baby daddy or several baby daddies and they don't give a darn about their kids and you have to take care of them all on your own. That is such an unfortunate situation, and felt totally bad for her on that. But Mike just wants her to get over it ASAP. He's like, "You're fine. I'm here." And she's like, "You don't understand. They all said the same thing." So if she's getting the spidey tingles and feeling like Mike is going to do her dirt, she should get out now. She just have her mom, she needs to move back to Rhode Island or wherever it is her mom lives and just go bunk with her mom. Just give up until her last child is 18 and then get back into the world, sis. You tried.
Did something happen that they're not showing? Like, she suddenly went from, like, I don't trust him. Like, when did that happen?
I think it's probably been something that's always been there, and maybe now that it's like for real, she's just waiting for all this shit to fall. Whatever. Anyways, let's talk about Chance and Taylor. Let's get them over with, because what did we really even learn besides, like, the fakest of the fakest scenes? Chris, are you so proud of me? I thought this was fake. Did you think it was fake?
No, I thought it was real.
Oh my God, why am my meter is off? So this is why I thought it was fake. because she knows that he has several credit cards. She has to. Number one, that whole fake ass scene of him like on the computer, not using it, calling his credit cards with the like bills in front of him. It was like too much going on, you know? And then he's like, they're like, yeah, you only have $3.99. You only have $11 on this card. And she just like knows, she has to know this is happening. And she's like, can you help me put the crib together, Chance? And we're watching this woman in real time choose not to marry him because she knows that all hell could break loose and she could be like legally tethered to this idiot if she does. But yet she's so mild mannered and like, okay, Chance, I don't understand. And he's just up here at all times. He's always upset or he's always like frustrated at her and feeling like she's like ruining his fun.
Yeah, honey, and instead not giving enough to the funds. I can't believe this. Some of the numbers that he throws out are crazy. Like one card, there's like $413 on it, and then there's an available credit line of like $11 or something. I'm like,
Yeah, it's a $500. Yeah, it's a 500. I had a $500 limit card when I first like got out of college, like high school. Like that's what they give you when you don't have any credit. Is they only give you $500.
wow, okay, well, God, I'm not gonna speak more because maybe my privilege. I've never in my life heard of such a thing. I think that
Yeah, I was like, this
just
is baby
500.
credit card. That's what I thought when I heard that. I was like, oh, I had a $500 credit card when I was 19 or like whatever it was. And aren't we glad? And also a little bit of me was like, damn, that's it. That's all you owe is 500. Well, I mean, you better figure it out. You better go hammer some nails somewhere and get some side jobs. I'm sure you can get $500 in 2 weeks. You'll be fine.
I also was just happy. My mind was like, and mostly I was like, oh, I'm happy that he ends up saying that he's in a lot of debt. I guess I think he gives us a number, right? I thought he said he was in 50, but no, that was like maybe someone else. No, that made me feel like okay, made me feel like well, I'm glad that he can't be in that much debt. If he's like, what was he in $2,000 debt total on his 7 cards? You know, like good. You know, I mean, maybe if the fallout of 2008 told us anything, it's like not to like just like hand out money to people that God bless probably can't pay it back, and then like default on those loans, and then the whole system comes down. Yeah, I'll tell you, you know what, you're right, because this part when they're building the crib is fake. She's like, will you help me? Will you help me? And she's like, it's just that a lot of things don't actually get done here. And I thought that was like a fun dig that I thought
Yeah.
like, I was like, oh,
Like Bobby's room.
oh yeah. Wait,
Yeah.
Bobby passed away.
No.
Wait, didn't she?
Wait.
No.
Did she? Definitely not in the show. In the show, she just moved away.
Cut it out. Yeah, just if you could edit this out, I feel bad. But no, God bless Bobby. She's right. She is. For some reason, I don't know why I would like had this like feeling that she was maybe she's just gone from that area, but not from this world. God bless. Bobby, please, I hope you're doing good. Okay. So anyway, yeah. So Taylor's like, things will get done around here. Ha ha ha. And then she's like, he's doing it, and then he gets a phone call, and she's like, what's that? Who's that? And we all think creditor or whatever. And he's like, yeah, no one. Just like, I don't answer phones on a Sunday that are like a random number. And she's like, well, then who is it? Like, it makes you want to know who it is. And then he's like, it's one of my friends, which is like, it's not your random number then, like whether he listened to the message and then found out it was a friend by the random number. And then she's like, first of all, like, if you told me to give you my phone, I absolutely would, and you lied to me or whatever. So I was like, is that what the lie that he said it was a random number, but he in fact knows the person? It was so interesting to me, like what exactly happened there. But at the same time, it's like, I wouldn't just, while I'm doing something, like if you got a phone call, just be like, who's that?
Yeah.
It's just like, it's such a like, oh. Because also, if I showed you my last calls on my phone, they're all spam. They're all like, it even says potential spam. For some reason, I'm just getting spam all day long. So most of the time when I hear a phone ring, I'm just like, oh, what telemarketer, honey? It's not for me. I'm not going to pick up right now. So the fact that she was so active on that made me feel like, oh, honey, that producers wanted to be drama.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. And it was just so weird. It was just such a weird thing. Like that she was like, I would give it to you if you had done. And I'm like, why do you even need to know? This is what happens. I think this is a syndrome of me not having experienced this because I've not had someone and that I was in a relationship with in which I would be suspicious or like this is a side of dating and being in a relationship that I intrinsically can't understand. Like women who go through their partner's phones or men who go through their partner's phones. Like we're just because we're in a relationship does not mean that you then need to invade my privacy. Like no matter what, I don't think it's something that has just completely missed me as like a thing people do. So I will always think of it as being weird and completely unnecessary. And speaking of completely unnecessary is where Chance pretends to go take a shower and then he puts the shower on. And instead of just like getting in the shower for 5 seconds to get wet, he puts a robe on and then wets his hair and his face in the sink and then he takes a box from the inside of their shared closet, takes it with him into the bathroom saying that he's going to go shower and that's why he can't help her with the crib right now, and he doesn't understand why she keeps popping up activities for him to do randomly without like giving him notice. And then he goes into the bathroom and counts all the money he owes, and then he puts that same cardboard box underneath their shared sink as though she's not going to like open up the sink or go in there ever and check for anything. Then my next thing is like when he says that he doesn't answer the phone calls on the weekends, I think to myself, well, you should be at work. You have debt. So why are you off on the weekends? Go get a side hustle, go down to the Dollar General and get you a job so that you can pay off your, $3,000 or $5,000 in debt that you are. And you'll be paid off pretty quickly, Chance.
Yeah, listen, he got in his truck last season, right?
Yeah.
Surprise.
Like,
is there truck Uber? There should be truck Uber where you need a truck Uber. There should be like Uber X, Uber Black, and in the special part, Uber Truck. And you just like, and listen, you can charge extra because if it's Uber Truck, it's kind of like a known thing that also like your hands might be of service.
Yeah, you could like help people load like moving like small things like couches and stuff.
Christmas trees.
To the dump. Yeah, you could do a lot of stuff. All right, well that's it with them. Let's move on to our next couple. Let's move on to like a boring couple we can get through pretty quickly. Let's go Blaine and Lindsay.
Yeah. Whoa, now this to me, honey, was the fakest of the fake. And also look at this picture I picked of them and they look like kind of like meth CW stars. Anyway, God bless. And I love Lindsay. By the way, I love Lindsay. And so Lindsay, listen to this. Honey, you can do better. You can't be, this whole season can't be this fake. Okay. And we'll tell you why. Basically, Lindsay, we'll just tell you why. We know that you were like running shit. We know you've been running shit, especially Blaine. So there's not one part of Blaine's past that I don't think you already don't know. You're too smart. So I'm not going to sit here and be like, you were this person's boss, and now what? This person's like your boss or whatever, and also like like giving you down. But like all of his things. Also, bitch, like he got you out of prison. Like you have a whole rap sheet too. Like you're not some honey debutante like on a cloud being like, what? Someone has a record? Like no, Lindsay, come on. And you gave this man like business in your record. So that's why it was very hard for me. But listen, you're going to give us this lawyer to talk about, which I'm not mad at. Well,
Chris, the reason why she explained it is not that he has them, it's that he lied to her. Like he lied to her. Listen, Lindsay is made for this show, okay? Because she has decided time and time again that she is going to come back and be on this show. She was on Love After Lockup with Scott and just acted a plum fool and got whatever what was her case called? Like disorderly conduct? No, it was something like habitual offender, but it was like dastardly mayhem.
Yeah, mayhem was definitely a part of it.
Mischief. It was like dastardly mischief mayhem or something.
Yeah.
And so she's not new to this. She's true to this. But she said, you know what? I want to be on Life After Lockup. How can I get on Life After Lockup? You know what? Who's single? Deontay. And you know what he likes? White girls. Guess what? I'm going to call him from prison to guarantee that I get on the next season of Life After Lockup. Then she does that. And she feels like he rode her and put her away wet. He just like hammered her poor little poom poom to the ground. And she hadn't had sex in forever. And he was like wanting all this shit from her. And she was like, you know what? I can't do this with Deontay, but guess who I can do this with? Toothless Blaine, who I've known forever. And did you notice that Blaine, like his teeth got fixed?
Yeah, because you can see his jaw. I mean, just like Angela, when people haven't had all the teeth in their mouth and they're suddenly given much bigger teeth.
Yep. I would absolutely agree with you. Spamming people are spamming Chris right at this moment. I don't know if you guys heard that, but
Wait,
she's
I have my do not disturb on.
on your.
What?
Do you have it on your computer?
But usually I don't have to because it's the same.
Oh, I have to do it. I have to do both.
Yes, it's onto this evening. That's. Well, I don't know what to
They're
tell
getting
you.
through. The spam really wants to contact you, Chris. So, anyways, we have a scene of them walking down Main Street of this whatever Alabama town that they're in, Mississippi town, and she's like, "We can't walk for very much longer because my feet are gonna hurt." And she's wearing like the thickest, lowest heels, boots that have full ankle support. And I don't understand what it is that is causing her to feel this way. But they have an appointment with his lawyer. But first, they have to start off at the hardware store because we find out that not only is the sex great and it's been great for 8 months, they're still in that honeymoon phase, but that they've taken all of their money and pulled it together to buy a shitty little house. And this house, it looks like it needs a lot of work. And they're going to this like quaint little hardware store. I'm like, girl, get you to a Home Depot stat. Okay, you need to get some of Blaine's cousins to come over here and help y'all do what you need to do. So she then it's time to go to see the lawyer. And now we get this pony-haired, sticky-fingered lawyer whose name is Tyler Moss. I wrote down Tyler Moss, attorney at law, because that's what he was giving me. Those are the vibes. Like, just he's from this town and he knows how dumb people are, so he's just going to take them for all their money at any given moment, especially if a camera's on him. I wonder if producers like told him to say that. I wonder if the producers were like, hey, so what can you do to add a little spice? And he's like, you know what I do? I'll embarrass them and tell them that they need to pay me so much more money than they can possibly afford. So then Tyler starts to read the laundry list of everything that is happening. Chris, did you want to say anything about the way this person is looking?
Yeah, let's talk about it. So, it is a brown suit. It is a light blue checked, shirt underneath, and it's a kind of navy cobalt blue paisley tie. This guy looks like an insurance salesman. I mean, he doesn't give lawyer vibes at all. He later on is gonna, like ask for his funds, and when he does, I was like, "You're not worth that. No, no, no. You just need that money. I don't know what you're gonna spend it on. More ugly, ugly clothes, but." I mean, I maybe half of me is like, I wonder if Lindsay puts on a whole show to get the fuck out of that office because she wants to be like, Blaine, not that one. No, honey, not that one. 15K to that one.
I mean, that's the only one though. That is the only one. He's the tried and true. So he starts to read off of Blaine's all of the things. I mean, Blaine has hydro something. He's got meth probably. He's got
hydroplaned. He hydroplaned, honey, went to jail. He hydroplaned himself to jail.
Yep.
Lot of meth, it's so maybe, yeah, he of course is our habitual offender, but I'm going to go ahead and say a lot of people on this show are habitual offenders, and not just criminals, but criminals of the hearts. So in actuality, it's probably one of the best named episodes of any Life or Love After Lockup, I think, episode ever. Well,
he's like, every time Tyler says what he has, what Blaine like offenses he has, like warrants and all kinds of stuff, she's like, her jaw gets to working. She gets upset, that jaw gets to moving, and she's like, habitual offender. And then Tyler's like, yep, so we got to get on this. And I actually cannot get on this until you give me $15,000. I'm not going to lift a finger. In fact, that man looks at these people and says, I'm not going to lift a finger until you give me $15,000. And Lindsay's like, where are we going to get that money, sir? And Blaine's like, no more, don't bring them out.
But you know what? Like, okay, we were led to believe that Blaine's house we saw was his house, which is a whole lot better of a house than the house we're living in now. So I'm like, where did that money go? Also, Lindsay is smart. She has to understand that some things cost a lot of money. Now, whether Lindsay think that man's worth $15,000 or the way he said it, which was before I lift a finger, makes her think that he's like not gonna be a good guy. I agree that, I mean, good guys, whatever. But like, I mean, listen, with customer service being what it is, if you're going to talk to me in that manner, then you're not going to get my money. But then again, that's the privilege of like taking my business to different lawyers. Maybe that's not what gets to happen in the town, you know?
Yeah, he is it. Okay, he's tax, he's criminal, he's divorce, he's all those lawyers. Like, not that you can be. I know you can't be. I'm not dumb. I'm just saying, like, that's what he's like snake oil. To me, he's a snake oil.
Oh.
And so then she gets very upset. She's like, "Thank you, Tyler." She gets upset. She storms off, and then she like goes into this like breakdown of, I don't know what I'm going to do. He lied to me. What if he goes to prison? I've never been out of prison without Blaine. I don't know how to survive. He's my boss. He's my lover. He's my homie. He's my friend. He's my landlord. He's my bedmate. Like, he's everything to me. And I don't know how I'm going to behave. I don't know what to do. She takes off her sweater, puts it in the back of his truck, and then starts to march down the street. And he comes out. He's like, "Lindsay, where are you going?" And she's just like, "Leave me alone, Blaine." And then he gets in the car and he's like, "This is crazy." And so then he drives and he's like next to her and he's like, "Go on, Lindsay, get in the car, stop acting like that." And so then he makes a right turn and like cuts her off, and she's like, "It says don't trespass on the grass." And he's like, "Get in the car, I'm here for you, I don't care about the grass." And then she's like, "Well, you don't care about me. I chose you over Deontay. So this is what I get. So I get with some other guy who has money problems and is dead, and this one's going to go back to prison. And then she starts to like bow-legged / pigeon-toed walk down the street in them heels. Looks like she's about to roll an ankle at any second. And he's just following her. He's like, "Lindsay, get in the car. You're just going to walk to the trailer all the way home?" And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Well, fuck it then." And he's like, "Skirt," makes a left turn, and he's out of there.
Yeah. He's like, "Say less." And I'll tell you right now, I don't understand why those shoes are so uncomfortable unless they're just like completely the wrong size, because they are a very chunky heel, round toe, kind of short boot. So it's like, girl, you don't have a stiletto. I mean, what's happening in those shoes? Is there something in it? A rock in it? Is there a stone in those shoes? She is giving like, Lindsay is like wearing a little cardigan with them brown boots. Honey, she could have a brown hat on. She looks like, I mean, the most basic pumpkin spice, but you know what I'm saying? It's fine. I love you. I love you so much. You made me laugh so much. And because, listeners, if you haven't heard already, I have a lot of things happening in my throat, but Wah made me laugh so much that it made me like then have to cough up, and I had to go off camera to do so. LOL. By the way, yeah, like, you know, it's so funny. I'm just happy that Lindsay's back on, and I'm happy that Blaine is too, and I'm happy that Blaine has teeth. All of it makes me happy, and I want them to be together. I think they're actually supposed to be together. So I don't mind, you know, I guess we'll say this. I want them to be together, and I feel like, you know, Marcelino and Brittany are together, and so because of that, they're going to create drama in order to have us watch the relationship, which actually is sort of benign.
Yeah. I don't mind. You said that statement, and it immediately took me back to like 97, or maybe it was 95, with the first Immature album. And that's one of the songs. Did you ever listen to the Immature album? Do you know who Immature is?
Yes, of course I do. But it's not that, I feel like I don't know that one song. But what's their other songs that I know?
I can't think of
the Candy Rain. That's not it.
No, that's not them. I don't mind.
Wait, what's
Immature? Immature, yeah, look it up. It's Marcus Houston and little drummer boy LDB and Romeo. I can't think of their most popular song, but that whole album changed my life. I feel like that was one of the first like albums besides Michael Jackson's, like all the Michael Jackson albums I ever owned, where I was like, oh my God, I feel like an adult listening to these children because they were my age. Marcus Houston is a lot of trouble though. He's like a weird child molester, or like he likes young women.
You know what? How does Please Don't Go?
No, I don't know that song.
Okay.
I'll have to play it in between. Okay, so let's move on to Derek and Monique. Oh Lord.
Why do we have so many pictures for them?
I don't know. Listen, okay, so we have the first scene where Derek is actually looking pretty cute. The whole time I was like, oh, he's cute. If he were taller and fucking bigger, like he's like what, 5'6"? You think he's like 5'6"?
5'2".
You think he's that small?
No, but I think he's like 5'4".
Okay, wait. Is his okay, I'm trying to think. His sister, not Elizabeth, Angelique or whatever her name is he taller than her? Is he taller than her?
That's his braid right there. So you're
Yeah.
right. He's taller than her.
Okay. So she at the smallest is 5'2". So he's
So
maybe
he's
5'4", 5'6", okay?
okay.
Which would make Monique what? 5'10"?
Maybe Monica's tall.
Yeah. She must be like 5'10". Because like I dated somebody who's 5'6", and he doesn't come to my titties. Like he at least comes to my like nose. You know what I'm saying? Like Derek lays his head comfortably on Monique's titties. So like she's I want to know how. I'm gonna Google it. Anyways, so they're shopping in a store they should not be in. Okay. This is again one of those, they need to be in the Walmart or something, maybe the Target. But they're in this store and cutting up, doing everything that they can to make one-liners for the show, and they're terrible at it.
Yeah. Do you have any scales?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and the sales guy is like, I don't know who you are, nor do I know the person that is not here that you're talking about. So how would I even like? They're in like a Z gallery, and she's asking for scales just to
Yeah.
be fat phobic and an asshole. And it's just like so oddly unnecessary. So then they start talking about how they hate her, and it's just like too much because it's like there's no reason for you to hate her. Like just be real and say that you don't like her because you feel like she's trying to take over your brother and control him. And then he's like, well, I got to make up to her because I did something wrong. I cheated on her. And Elizabeth says the one good thing that makes the most sense is like, oh, so what, a candle and flowers is going to fix that?
Oh, perfect. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so then they're smelling candles and they're like, should we get something smelly? And then she calls. I don't know. I just really want to get to the part where they're outside and she tells him her secret.
Okay, let me get to that part. So then, yeah, Derek is just like, yeah, she likes makeup and candles, she likes perfumes, and I was like, oh, Monique's maid, ha ha ha. Oh, how well. And then, now, of course, meanwhile, Monique, we see is like getting ready. She's gonna drive there with her sisters, and like she hasn't seen him in a month, but obviously within that month this has happened, and he's been like slowly creeping back because she really cares about him, and like through text or whatever, and um going back to the shop, they're like smelling candles, like we said, which is like, I want to smell all the candles. And the sisters are like sometimes helping, but also making the one liners. There's also, how every episode has a very small segment and it goes right to commercial. And usually that segment in the past have been prison stories, like Locked Up, like when we were locked up, the way that I used to,
We made soap out of toilet paper.
we
Yeah,
make
you just add.
vaginas out of watermelons, whatever it is. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, we they just
Cantaloupe.
made all kinds of random. We made candles out of toilet paper, cardboard, and we made blunts out of this. Like they just do a lot.
So, but basically, this weird edit, which I think was suspect, was the sisters together, and Aubriana is like, I as a woman just don't really like Monique, and then the other sister is like, well, I as a woman, and then the other sister, it's like this weird back and forth of like, and the sister won't say like, okay, but then it's edited together to just be like, well, we just, I just feel like she wasn't there for him, or said like she hasn't, what benefit has she brought? And I feel like the editors kept that in only because one sister perhaps is trans,
Oh,
and
she is.
they wanted this segment in because it was an awkward sentence that had to be edited to even have a thoroughness to it. And it really wasn't, it was incredibly vague and not real, and there was no like accountability for it, in the sense of Monique has been there for him in like every way. She's almost too much for him. She like pays for everything. She's like, in his business, she's like literally looking at her phone. I mean, if you're gonna say anything about her, it's just that she's incredibly present and definitely has given almost too much, or whatever you want to say. So the fact that the editors put the scene in, I think, was to talk about the trans sister in some way, or have us talk about it, or like have the trans sister and the sister like talk about as a woman. It was a
Yeah,
weird moment.
I did see that moment and I didn't understand. It just felt like it was another. I didn't see it the way you saw it, and I'm not saying what you're saying is not right. That's a very interesting take on it. I guess I just thought of it as like one more way to show how these two fucking idiots are fucking idiots. Like, I, as a woman, don't like her because what was she really doing? Like, they can't even finish their fucking sentences. They have no reason not to like her. They should be mad at their brother, but it's just sometimes in certain scenarios, it's women fight with each other over men. It's like, it's just like a thing, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Or they're just like did it to, because they just are really enjoying their 15 minutes of fame. Apparently Elizabeth has like, she does like online sex work. And so she's probably on there to be like, yeah, her name is like Cartier, or I don't know, something like, these hood girls like to pretend like they're part of the mafia, or like talk about big gang like nonsense and like mob shit. And so one of her is like, she's like Elizabeth Cartier or like Cartel or some shit. And
was this a live that you're kind of like, is this was a live on her channel that that's about? Is that what? Or
yeah, so Monique, Derek, Elizabeth, they're pretty active. And when I follow a lot of the gossip Instagram things, like they're constantly talking about them. Monique and her sister, Chandria or whatever, they go live like weekly to kind of just talk about the episode. They're very like, Monique is very interested in social media clout. Like that is where she excels. That is where she lives her true life and her true meaning.
Okay.
So, yeah. So anyways, the next scene is she finally gets there and her girls are like, oh, you're dressed so cute. And I was like, no, she's not. She's wearing like a dress.
But I think it's because she matched. They said that we like her makeup, and I think it's because her eyeshadow matched. Like it was kind of a brown mahogany rust color dress, and I think the eyeshadow matched.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm never faulty of her makeup. Like I always think she's a little greasy sometimes, but she can't help that. I mean, she would just need some rice paper, like blotting something in her purse. But like, I think Monique's hair and her face is always what it needs to be. That is the one thing I will never. And she's always dressed well. Like she always has on like a nice dress and like cute shoes, and whether or not she's going to spill cocktail sauce on a white dress she chooses to wear is a whole different thing. But I'm saying she's always like put together. Even when she's like in her pajamas, she's in like a silk black short set. It's like she always looks good on TV.
Yep, she does. Her hair is always on point. Yeah, everything you said right. But her hair also looks like it's always looked good.
Yeah,
always.
That wig is great. It's just like it's doing well for her. So I could never knock her on that. But I'm saying the outfit wasn't spectacular. She wasn't like killing. She wasn't like doing anything crazy.
Wait, that's a lace front wig?
I don't know what I'm assuming that it is. I feel like all wigs now are lace fronts, I think.
Yeah, my only reason why I ask is because usually if it has if like the part looks seamless to me like that, the part in the middle, I mean, that's just, I'm like old school, I guess, because I don't understand wigs that well. So if it's a wig where I don't see a part, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But if it's a wig that has a really good part, I assume that's gonna happen. This is not a good part. I'm assuming that it has to have like some, I don't know, fancy application to make it look so good.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. So she gets dressed and she's wearing like a brown, like whatever outfit and some like boots, and like girl, they're like, oh, you look so great. And we're like, okay, she's just wearing brown boots and brown dress and black boots and a jacket, which, okay, fine. And so she goes somewhere windy to meet him, and they're sitting on some monument or some concrete structure. And he's like, listen here, I got you some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is for you because I like you, because I love you. You know what I'm saying? And she's like, I know that Derek loves me because I know his heart. It's just sometimes, he's just with the shits and I'm not with it. What girl? What girl? And so she sits down, and he then, like, I guess they recommit to each other, girl, something, I don't know. He gives her the flowers and she's like, oh, this is so nice, it's so cute, thank you, oh, I like it, I like candles. And so that makes up for him fucking putting in somebody else's booty, so she's fine with it. And then she's like, come on, sit down, sit next to me. So she sits down to him and she's like, I'm late. Like, I could be pregnant. And he's like, what? And the only thing I kept thinking, because it was towards the end of the episode, is I literally turned into some Louisiana, like, NOLA woman. And I was like, I know you fucking lying. Girl, you ain't, girl. She's like, I'm late. I'm like, girl, you haven't had your period in a year. I'm gonna be like, you are not, no one believes Monique has a period.
I love that your version of a Nola woman. I was like, why are they at a restaurant? What, they have no money to like give to like no bistro. They're so freezing out in the middle of the night. It's windy. You know what I'm saying? Like I always feel like this show is made for 2 cents, and like not 2 normal cents. It's like 2 like half cents, Um yeah, this part annoys me in the sense that he's like in his confessional, I think, or something. He says like that he doesn't want to feel like she trapped him, which I'm always just like, LOL, like, oh, did you nut in a woman without a condom? Then who trapped who? And I also want to just be like, oh, is it just because you feel like she should abort it? Because you, and then if she doesn't, she's trapped you? Oh, you didn't trap yourself, huh? You didn't trap yourself.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't be a rhino with like, you can't be like an elephant with those golden tusks, and then walk into like the poacher's den and just like show off your tusks, and then the poacher comes over and you're like, want me to take off my tusk for you? And the poacher's like, and then you like take off your tusk, and then the next morning your tusk's gone, and be like, well, you stole my tusk. Here, I feel like if he is the victim, which I don't think he is, then I don't mind blaming him.
I think this is one of the things that I fully have such a stupid, antiquated thought pattern with. Is not that I think that I'm not even gonna say it because it just makes me sound fucking stupid. Yeah, I'm like, women know what happens. Like I always tell them, I'm like, listen, I'm not on any birth control, I'm not on whatever. So if this is the choice that we're going, I'm not having an abortion. So let's all be prepared for the outcome. But I don't know. It's not trapping, but I mean, he had to have been aware that that was a possibility, unless he wasn't, unless she said she was on birth control or something. I don't know. Anyways, there's that.
There is that. So, um,
Oh, he calls her Big Mama. That was the other thing that I was like, oh no, you can't call me Big Mama.
you know, I think that he is very sexually into it, and he has no problem, like expressing that. So I think that if yeah, of course I think that, I think there's probably like a real sexual vibe with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I wasn't getting that at all.
I'm leaning into it.
Okay.
Okay, so, we'll see what happens there. She's just like basically like, I really wanted you to like, be like okay with it, or at least like hopeful, or at least like somewhat positive. And he's like, well, we'll see what happens. It's a real soon, like not the greatest timing, and I'm kind of shocked. She's like, well, I'm shocked too. And he's like, yeah, I can tell how shocked you are. And it's just like, it's like, and also I don't think she's pregnant, so there's also that.
Yeah,
Uh,
at all.
were we saving the
Sean
best
and
for last?
Sarah.
Yeah, and
Oh, we
it says
still have Puppy and Amber, so let's move on to Sean and Sarah.
okay.
Sean and Sarah, and this is Sarah throughout this entire season, probably like him smiling and like, no, he's not even smiling anymore. It's just her like, this is my life.
This picture doesn't even look like they were in the same room to make it. It looks like I photoshopped that picture together, like for the purposes, but it looks like they can't possibly be in the same room, but like they're both even like this. Like he's looking at what I am assuming is the producer off camera asking a question, and she's giving right to camera the office style Jim like this fucker.
Aside, yeah, she's doing an aside to the camera. She's breaking that fourth wall.
So, okay. So, basically, we get to meet their baby, which is Adelaide, and let's bring her up. Like I took a pic and we can really see that baby's got that daddy face, honey.
I mean, aren't you glad though that Sarah's mother has a hard
Look,
life, you guys?
life face. Look.
She looks like Droopy Dog as a blonde woman.
She, I think, has, listen, I'm telling you right now, It's obvious the woman has gone fucking through it and out the other side. And she seems sober every time we see her on camera, right?
Yeah, but
Wait, have we?
she's
Is
led a whole rodeo of a life. I mean, she makes Angela Deem look beautiful.
she's alive, and so I think that that's the beauty of her story. Oh God. Anyway, so let me tell you what happens with Sean and Sarah. Okay, so
There's a sex swing involved, and this man does not jump to get into it. Like
no,
I don't want to have sex with him. But a sex swing, you get involved.
I can't believe that she wants to, but she's like dealing with the baby. Okay, the baby's like, she's like, she puts the baby aside. The baby's like crying. She puts on, lingerie, and the word of it. I mean, like, I really can't deal with like the lingerie that I'm being presented by Matt Shot Productions. Like across the board, I just like, I really am elitist when it comes to lingerie. Like, I can't, but it's black, pink, cheap, the cheapest. It's like it's the scratchiest lingerie, like that it's like sandpaper lingerie, and it's
She got it
just
from a sex store. It's like she didn't even get it from a lingerie or like a some place that specializes in it. She got it in a place that was like catch all. Like she went to adamandeve.com and got lingerie.
yeah, and it's like not sexy, not even in the slutty way. It's it's ugly, cheap, not sexy, ugly, cheap lingerie. It's like little girl. It looks like kind of like little girlish, but like also, like whorish, but like not in a sexy way. Again, I can't stop saying that. So basically she puts it all on and she's like, Sean, like come upstairs. And what Sean's doing is on his like PS, I guess 5, playing video games with his children that he's never hung out with, never really with, and don't really know them very much, in a different part of the country. And not the girl, his sons. And we already know that girl needs all the love. And we'll never talk about that girl again, honey. Why? Because she doesn't do a fun thing that he wants to do, like play video games. Well,
Yeah, so he's downstairs playing with his son Jalen or Jaden or something, and she's like, "Sean, come up here." And he's like, "What? What are you doing, Mom? I'm playing with my friends." And then she's like, "Sean, just come up here." He's like, "What? I'm playing with my son. Trying to spend time with my son. You gotta do this thing because I like fucked up, and like now I realize that my whole family like hates me because they feel like I abandoned them, which I did, but like I didn't mean to. It's just because like I feel like it's Kelly's fault that she had all those kids." So
she
like
trapped me,
yeah, she trapped
trapped
me,
me.
but also like Sean notoriously has a big penis and he knows what to do with it. So, I mean, yeah. So she gets him upstairs and he's like, "What is this? How'd you get that up there?" She's like, "My mom helped me put it up there." Yeah, because it wouldn't be surprised. And he's like, "Okay, well, I'm tired and I want to like relax with play video games." She's like, "You want to just play video games? You don't want to have sex with me?" And he's like, "Well, I mean, it's not that. I'm just playing with my son. Like, I gotta spend time with my kids." And she's like, "Well, you have to spend time with me too. Like, I'm here." And he's like, "No, I get it. It's just that like, this is sexy and like you're great. I'm just like tired and like I don't want to like have sex with you and swing." And I'm just like, wow, that's how like not attracted to her she is. I just can't imagine a scenario in which like I had procured some kind of sexual apparatus and I had gone to my husband and I had said, look at that apparatus. Can you put me in it? And I will be weightless. Not only can you put me in it, but you just need to stand there. And if you could just swing it, then we can like get it done. It is not, it's a, go ahead.
Plus, you had to ask your mom to come over and help you put it up. So let's just talk about the entire story. Like you got your parents to come up and they were like, "What's this, Wah?" And you were like, "Oh, just a nice sex swing." They're like, "Okay, cool. Just right here where you want to, they're going to fuck you right here. This part right here is a good place for the fucking swing." And you're like, "Yeah, Mom. Yeah, Dad." Like, don't, hit on the nail. They do it. They leave, which already is like, could you imagine?
No. So now she has to like put on her robe and get in the bed, and Adelaide's like sleeping next to her in her like red and white bedroom or something, like red and black. She got black curtains everywhere, and I'm like,
That was
listen,
their wedding. Remember? Their wedding was black and red.
was it?
Yes, she loves that combo, and there is nothing more like mid 90s than that. Like early mid, and it's not even late 90s. Like it's disgusting. Her bedroom set is atrocious or whatever, but
It's
like
like goth, and it's like goth, but like when you don't have enough money to fully go the full 9 yards with your like eclectic aesthetic, it looks bad. You can't
horrible.
do that cheaply. Uh, so, anyways, the next scene we have her making a breakfast or dinner or lunch or something for her whole
Yeah.
bag husband, and he comes into the kitchen, and at no point when we see him in on camera with wherever Adelaide is, he has no desire to kiss them chubby cheeks. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I saw that. You're absolutely right. Like, first of all, she's like, "Oh, like I'm doing all this stuff with Adelaide. I can make the sandwich," and she's like holding the baby, and I'm just like, "You gotta wear that baby, honey. Get a baby wear. Like, like let's get you a big ass scarf. Let's like teach you how to like, you gotta be like put the baby on you, and then you can have your hands free. The baby has that skin to skin contact. Yeah, that baby is right there with your whole ass face. You're not gonna bend down and kiss it. And also, you've been knowing that like your relationship with your daughters across the board shitty. Start them young. You got to start this one young. Like show an affection, just one affection. So, also, what kind of sandwich is it gonna be? I wonder. Well,
I feel like
basically,
it was just like a basic ass like ham and mayo sandwich. It's like some on white bread and it's like
it
wonderful.
was. That bread was white. I saw the packaging on the bread. It was like blue and white checkered, like a
Have you ever
country
eaten
white.
have you ever eaten white bread?
Yes.
Oh, I've never.
You like, you know what? Yeah, like I think that well, first of all, yeah, there are certain things that make like with Wonder Bread. Like I feel like Wonder Bread is white bread.
But you can get it wheat because I've had Wonder Bread wheat. Like all of my entire life, my parents have always bought wheat bread. I have never had white bread.
Well, I mean, like if you have a cucumber sandwich at tea, it's gonna be on white, soft white bread.
Oh, okay, then yes, I have had white bread.
So basically, he has an awkward non like horrible night and day with her in the morning, and she's like not into it. And then the next thing we see is that she's decided to meet up with someone, and it's her older child's father, who she has history with, which is drug history. Not drunk history, but drug history. Which is a tale of back and forth and jails and stuff, and really never ended. And just like fast forward to now, and she basically is like, look, I'm lonely and I want attention, and my husband's like not giving it to me, and so I don't care if he's happy. Like she's just very much like, I'm just gonna go fuck up my life.
I feel like she has every right to. Sean is a idiot. Like if you're gonna like do something you shouldn't be doing on any partner, Sean is the person that you do it on. Like I'm fully supportive of her choices. All right, let's move on to our last couple, and that's Pups Big Ups, Michelle, aka Puppy, and Amber. And I can always tell the state of Puppy's being by how terrible her eyebrows are and how like thick and 99-cent store her eyelashes are. So we start with her, and they're at Sticky Cactus Mexican Grill in Atlanta, GA. And so she's met up with Amber, and they're at a bar and they're having a good old time. Every time I see somebody drinking margaritas on TV, I feel like I want a margarita. So good. Like margarita and like salty chips and salsa. Delicious. So they're talking about like everything that's been happening in their lives. So Amber in her confessionals, like Amber is the most let me tell you, this entire time I was waiting for Amber to come out, like truly come out as like bi or like gay, because she's very mask, but also like always has a boyfriend. Like she's the most masked straight woman who is just booed up constantly. And maybe it's because she's got like long, luscious Native American hair. Like she's like her, I think her mom is like Native American. So like she's got this like ethereal beauty that is unmatched with no makeup. Like if Amber decided to give us like a little flesh toned lip, just like a little sheer tint of like a tinted moisturizer and a lash, she would knock it out the park. Like she's got a very like natural beauty. And in her confessional, she's wearing like a prairie dress, and Mama has got the titties out. She's got them out, and they're on display and show for everyone. And she's got a little messy bun going, and all the gold jewelry. I was here for it.
I also think that Puppy looked good, like so I'm sorry, they are the ones. So yeah, okay. So then Puppy sits down and she shares what they've been up to. Puppy and Eric are in $50,000 in debt. Now when they say that, I'm like, not really though, because you're not married. So like his debt's not your debt. So like whatever's happening to him in his life and his divorce, that's not your debt. Now, okay, but that's just one thing. But she also says it's like medical bills, and we also realize that his house was never his house. It was like somehow in his like mother-in-law's name. And so the mother-in-law was like, get the fuck out of my house, and so he had to. Plus, like, yeah, the medical bills, because he never has been he's looked like he's on death's door the entire time. I mean, I don't have to tell you, that man is like, looks like he has needs like daily dialysis, and I'm sorry for him. I don't want that to be the case, but I mean, I can imagine those medical bills are high. And she's like, and our lifestyle, our lifestyle, right? It's like constantly buy that, like, I forgot what that print is.
Von Dutch, or like
The
studded.
MCM print, or I don't understand that brand. That brand reminds. I mean, it's a weird like Louis Vuitton looking brand that's really cheap. I don't, but people love that brand. I don't get it.
Somebody who worked for them. I don't think that was cheap. It was like, yeah, it's like a Soho. I don't know. The store that I went into in Soho, it wasn't cheap. But yeah, you're right. It does mimic. You know what it also mimics? What brand is it that does that kind of, it's not, well, Louis Vuitton, what you think is leather, that canvas print, it's not. It's like canvas, right? I keep saying canvas, and it's canvas, right? So MCN whatever is leather, and so is this other, have you seen this, Chris? It's this brand that at some point, like maybe 10, 15 years ago, they did the world map. And so you would see people out with handbags and different articles that had like it world map, like print, but in, I don't know how to explain it. I gotta find it. Anyways, so getting back to Eric and Puppy, which is so far away from that world, so it's not even funny. But um they are in debt, and she's like, oh my god, I can't get over his ex-wife. His ex-wife is everywhere. She just like won't leave us alone, just won't do a quiet divorce. Like, she's upset, and I don't understand like why I have to be caught up in their drama. And so she is telling Amber this, and Amber's like, bitch, I miss you, and like, I love you so much, I love you, I always want you in my life. And Puppy's like, yeah, I love you too, but I feel like I feel like TC doesn't like me. And I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you, Chris. I had never, prior to this episode, really seen an up close view of TC, and he is ugly. I tried to like think about what he might have looked like when he was younger and less stressed, and I'm not seeing it. Like, I'm just like, Amber, you could do better. I mean, maybe he's stable and like whatever, but like, she is wholeheartedly the better looking one of them.
Oh yeah, well, for sure. But she doesn't feel her best right now. I don't think he's ugly, but I don't think that he's like super attractive. I definitely think that she's beautiful. But she, I think that she also recognizes someone that I think that he does want her to be quote unquote healthy. So I think she appreciates that in her life right now. So, but I mean, that's just my intuition. But basically, he doesn't like Puppy, because he wants Amber to be on the straight and narrow. And Puppy represents like her old life, prison friend, drug dealer. They get in fights in front of his kids, like Puppy, and Puppy, even though Puppy's great, Eric's a goddamn nightmare and takes, doesn't want that crazy ass person around either. And so all of it's shitty, and maybe there's also the thing, which I'd also wonder, Puppy loves Amber, is in love, has, like loves Amber, and we don't know Amber's, whether Amber
I think Amber loves her back. I feel like they've had sex.
I know they have. So that's what I'm trying to say. I wonder if TC's like secretly jealous.
Oh,
like he can pick up on it, or she's told him, or
yeah.
they hooked up with women and he, whatever, you never know. So
yeah. She's also told TC too much, and TC is a snitch.
that's exactly what happened. And that's so that okay. So anyway, before we get there, let me just, so that's the word we're gonna bring up. So basically he then, after the conversation where she was like, come pick me up, TC, and TC was basically like, Puppy can't come over and spend the night on the couch, where the fuck it is. He gets there and Puppy like has to like now talk to him, and Puppy always is like scared. We love that about Puppy, the big puppy eyes. Puppy's like, I don't even know what to say to him. He's like, hi. So then she does, she's like, hi, like, I'm Michelle, Puppy, like whatever. And he's like, hi, TC, and later on he'd be like, did you forget my name? She's like, no, I know your name, asshole. TC Transitional Center. I was like, ha ha ha, good one, Puppy. Yeah, like she's like, next time I'm coming over, I'm just like make myself at home. He's like, haha, you're never coming over. He gets in the car. He's like, that was awkward. He's like, yeah, it was awkward for both of you. Like you both made it like you really are the one that like really made it awkward too. And we're like, we kind of understand why. It's because listen, like Amber just had to have a whole, and she talks about it like health procedure where she couldn't have a baby she wanted to have because of her health, right? So she had to have an abortion. It was like really really hard for her, and she has some health issues. And so TC doesn't like the fact that she's smoking all the time and drinking whatever, God bless, but also he's going to drink too.
Yeah.
And also he's going to then be like, well, puppy represents, like your old life, but also they're drug dealers. And then he says on camera, you told me that. And Amber,
she looks at him and she's like, I didn't say that. And then he fucking doubles down. And isn't it okay? This is my question. Didn't you get it how, like, in the bar when she's like, you can sleep on my couch, I'm gonna tell TC you sleeping on the couch. And then she calls him, she says that, he freaks out, and then the next scene in their garage, he's like, yeah, the whole thing about her spending the night, like, no, that could never happen. And she's like, yeah, I can see that. And I was like, no, girl, you were happy to have puppy sleep on the couch. You said that it would be fine. So now you're like changing the tune once you're in the home, but that's fine. It's fine. It's what you have to do to survive, right? Because she's not willing to give up the one thing, which is puppy, and Queen and like everybody else. She's not willing to give that up for TC because she's just like, okay, dude, like she's always gonna be in my life. But then when she tries to tell that man, no, I didn't say that, and I don't know if he was drunk or he doesn't understand the ramifications, or he forgot the fucking like 17-man camera crew is there, or that, and also this camera crew is real shady for showing it. Like they don't give a fuck.
Oh, they don't at all.
And it was just like, wow. And she was like, no, that's not what I told you. What I told you, and she like made up some garbled nonsense. And instead of him being like, oh, okay, yeah, he like doubles down 3 different times that's what she said. And then she's like, listen, she gets so pissed because he won't like just say, yeah, maybe I misunderstood. And she's like taking all her camera shit off, and she's like, fuck this, I'm done filming, get out of here, get out. And then he's like, well, you can get out too. And she's like, bitch, I pay half the bills about here. Like all of a sudden, Amber, that he is not used to, came out. And she was like, before I leave here, she just went in on him. And he was just like, and they're just drinking. And I'm like, wow, how can people what is he drinking? Chris was like, Midori sour. Is that like a beverage? That is a beverage with Mountain Dew in it.
What the hell is this grown-ass man drinking? No, it does look like a Midori sour. It's disgusting. That was the end of the episode. We're excited to see what happens. Obviously, we have some other couples that they didn't give us the first episode, but it seems like it's going to be Brittany and Marcelino, and definitely Eris and Cameron.
Wow, we have like 8 couples.
I can't remember if there's anyone else.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have 8 couples. One of these is going out quick. Who do we want to guess? Who's going to go out quick, or who's going to come in late? I have a feeling that Brittany and Marcelina are going to come in halfway in the season.
We don't even need them at all. We really don't, because it's just gonna be it's just I don't know if they're in Florida now, which he shouldn't even be there because she's left him. But they're gonna have to make all that work, or just I don't know. It's hard.
If he was good penis, like you can't let that go. She got 3 kids by him, or 2 kids, and that one kid thinks of him as a daddy. Okay, I think Chance and Taylor are going to probably end early. Like, what kind of drama could they possibly give us? I really feel like our heavy hitters are going to be Derek and Monique. We know that that's going to happen.
Eris and Cameron. I think Eris and Cameron.
Oh, okay, Eris and Cameron. And then I think Puppy and Amber. This was a very explosive first episode. So, I mean, you guys, it's a long season. I mean, it's a long, a lot of couples in each episode. And we know that they're going to give us like a solid, what did we get? Like 11 weeks. And then they're going to go directly into the next season. So we'll have a Love After Lockup, or Love During Lockup soon. All right, you guys. So we want to thank you so much for joining us. If you guys would like to see the visuals of what you are listening to right now, you can become a member of our Patreon for $10 a month. And that's on patreon.com/DocuSweeties. And if you would like to know what we're doing online, you can talk to our social media expert, and that is Chris Farah.
Hi, I'm Chris Farah, social media expert. Anyway, go ahead and follow us on Twitter at DocuSweeties1, on TikTok at DocuSweeties, and Instagram at DocuSweeties.
Sweeties. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will talk to you later. Bye.